You are standing under the fluorescent gate signs, phone in one hand, a crumpled paper boarding pass or a dim screen in the other, and the loudspeaker keeps repeating a delay announcement. You can feel the queue behind you and the clock in your head clicking toward the connecting departure. The smell of coffee and the squeak of wheeled suitcases fade into a tight knot of worry. What happens now that the first flight is late and your second flight is boarding without you?
If your flight happens to be canceled or delayed, Compensair will help you get compensation for the inconvenience and get your money back without wasting time on red tape. Get a refund for your canceled flight right now.
Take a breath. I want to talk directly to you, step by step, the way I'd coach a friend at the gate. First, collect the facts. Which flight is delayed, the new estimated departure or arrival time, and whether both flights are on the same ticket. Pull up your booking reference, the airline app, and the gate screen. Save screenshots and timestamps. If you have two separate tickets booked with different airlines, stop and read carefully. Separate tickets usually mean you are responsible for the missed connection. If both segments are on a single itinerary with the same ticket number, the airline that sold you the ticket almost always has a duty to rebook you onto the next available flight.
At home, before travel, you reduce risk by checking minimum connection times printed on the airline or airport site and allowing buffer time for known busy hubs. Bring contact details, the airline phone number, your booking reference, and proof of your original arrival time. At the airport, your first move is to alert the gate agent on the delayed flight, not just at the connection gate. Tell them your connection and seat number. They can often prioritize rebooking before you land. If you can, open the airline app and check self-rebooking options while you're still on the plane or taxiing. Many carriers will let you choose the next flight immediately. Why do airlines operate this way? Think of the network like a line of dominoes. One late arrival upsets the chain. Crews, gates, and aircraft rotations are scheduled tightly to minimize idle time and cost. The airline's operational goal is to keep the rest of the network moving, which is why they reassign passengers to the next available flight or swap aircraft. When you have one ticket, the airline is the one who set the dominoes, so they take responsibility for repositioning you. When you bought separate tickets, you built two independent domino lines, and neither airline is legally responsible for the gap between them. Now, the practical numbers. If the airline is at fault, mechanical issues, crew delays, or late inbound aircraft, rebooking is usually free and immediate. If the missed connection forces an overnight stay, many major carriers will provide hotel vouchers and meals. Expect values between $0, rebook same day, and $150,250 for meal/hotel vouchers on full-service carriers, sometimes more in expensive cities. For EU flights, or flights operated by EU carriers, EU 261 can entitle you to €250,600 in cash compensation for long delays or cancellations, depending on distance and delay length. In the U.S., there is no automatic cash compensation rule for delays. The carrier will generally rebook and may issue meal or hotel support at their discretion. If you booked cheap basic economy fares, seat restrictions or fare rules may limit options, and fare classes affect your priority on standby lists. The risk of losing checked baggage is real if your hold bag is transferred to the missed connections manifest and you are not on that flight. If the airline rebooks you onto a later flight, tell the agent to trace and tag your bag to your new itinerary. Insist they flag it as a transfer and get a receipt. If you fly on a later connection without your bag, Immediate reporting increases the chance of same-day delivery. Worst case, you may face a temporary loss of essentials. Budget for an interim expense of $50,200 on clothes and toiletries if bags are delayed overnight, and no baggage delay compensation limits in the airline's contract of carriage. Here's the safest, cheapest, most practical solution in order. 1. Stay calm and document. Screenshots of delay messages, flight numbers, and timestamps. Documentation is your ticket to better service and claims. 2. Use the app first. Many airlines let you self-rebook faster than waiting in line. If an acceptable seat is available, rebook through the app to lock it in. 3. If the app doesn't help, go to the operating carrier's gate agent before you deboard the aircraft. They're the ones who can hold space and put you on a rebooked flight immediately. If you can't before deplaning, head straight to the Connection Airlines counter or the main customer service desk as you land. 4. Ask for re-accommodation on the same ticket. If they offer a later flight with a long layover or routing you don't want, politely decline and ask for the next direct option. Be aware the agent may need to call ops, so be patient but persistent. 5. If stuck overnight, request a hotel voucher and meals when the airline is at fault. If they refuse and you must pay out of pocket, keep receipts. You might be reimbursed later. 6. If you bought separate tickets, your best bet is to buy the cheapest possible ticket to get to your final destination, or use travel insurance if it covers missed connections on separate tickets. Many useful links can be found in the description. A common trick that trips people up is the booking site upsell called transfer protection or missed connection protection. It looks useful, pay a small fee, and the site promises to rebook you if you miss a connection. In reality, these are often thin resellers that pass you back to the airline and charge a high service fee or impose convoluted claim requirements. Another frequent mislead is the claim protected connection on some third-party platforms. Read the fine print. Protection often applies only if both legs were booked through that platform and you followed specific check-in steps. How to refuse the upsell. When a booking site or agent pushes transfer protection, say clearly, "No thanks, that's not necessary. I prefer to keep the fare lower and use the airline's rebooking if needed." If the airline agent tries to sell you a paid, same-day confirmed change, ask first if there is a free option due to the delay and show documentation of the delay on the airline's screen or announcement. Politely but firmly decline extra fees and insist on the airline's contractual obligations when the carrier caused the delay. If you need to file a claim or seek compensation later, follow this checklist. Keep every boarding pass, receipts, and screenshots. Call customer service and get a claim reference number before you leave the airport. File an online claim within the airline's time limits. Escalate to national enforcement bodies, DOT in the US, national enforcement bodies for EU 261 claims in Europe, if you receive an unfair denial. If the airline offers a voucher, read it. Vouchers often expire or have blackout rules. For cash compensation, regulators often set firm timelines. If you fly often or are on a critical itinerary, consider protection in advance. Purchase trip interruption insurance that covers missed connections regardless of cause, or use credit cards that offer trip delay and baggage delay insurance. For business-critical travel, allow at least 2 to 3 hours for connections at busy hubs and avoid minimum layover bookings. Worst-case scenarios are avoidable with preparation. If you booked separate tickets, you could be on the hook for the full cost of a new ticket, and that could be $100 to $1,200, depending on distance and fare conditions. If the airline is at fault and you delay an international connection that causes you to miss an onward, non-refundable cruise or tour, compensation can be limited.
Independent travel insurance or credit card protections often deliver the best recovery in those situations. Let me leave you with a clear script for the gate or customer service agent. I was on flight, original flight number, scheduled to arrive at time, which is now delayed to new time.
My connecting flight is connecting flight, and my ticket number is, can you please book me on the next flight to, and confirm my checked bag will be transferred to that flight? Say it calmly, hand over screenshots, and follow up by asking for a rebooking reference or email confirmation. If this helped, please subscribe and like. It helps me make more clear, usable guides for nervous flyers. Safe travels.